Have you ever wondered why some people reach their dreams while others only talk about them? Why one person wakes up early, studies English, works on their dream, even when tired, while another says, maybe tomorrow, and never begins? The answer is not luck. The answer is not talent. The answer is discipline. Discipline is that silent, invisible force that separates dreamers from doers. It's not loud. It doesn't show off. But it's the most powerful bridge. The bridge that connects where you are to where you want to be. Every successful person, every millionaire, every fluent English speaker, every great leader has walked across that same bridge of discipline. And they didn't walk it once. They walk it every single day. In this episode, on Fuel for English Life, we'll uncover the 7 golden rules of discipline, how to master your time, control your emotions, and stay committed when motivation disappears. Because, my friend, motivation fades, but discipline builds your future. So sit back, open your heart, and let's begin the journey to the strongest version of yourself. The version who does what needs to be done, even when no one is watching. Rule 1. Win the war of the morning. Discipline starts when the world still sleeps. Discipline doesn't begin when you open your book or when you go to work. It begins the moment you open your eyes in the morning. The war of discipline is fought, not in public, but in the silence of early dawn. When the alarm rings at 5 a.m., your mind whispers, just 5 more minutes. And right there, at that exact moment, a silent battle begins. Between the person you are now and the person you want to become. Every morning gives you a choice, comfort or growth, sleep or success, dreaming or doing. And 99% of people lose that battle. They snooze, they scroll, they say, I'll start tomorrow. But the truth is, tomorrow is just another word for never great people, the disciplined ones. They don't wait for motivation. They don't need perfect weather, perfect mood, or perfect timing. They rise, even when it hurts. Because they understand one thing. If you can control your morning, you can control your life. When you wake up early, before the world wakes up, the silence becomes your teacher. You feel the calmness of the world, the peace of dawn, and the power of self-control. That's when you start to build a different kind of confidence, not the fake one from social media, but the real one that comes from doing what others won't. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named David, a normal guy who worked long hours and always said, I want to learn English, I want to be successful, but I have no time. Then one day, he heard something that changed his life. If you don't have time, make time. The morning belongs to warriors. So David decided to wake up 1 hour earlier. The first day was painful. His body screamed, his eyes burned, his mind said, go back to bed. But he didn't. He stood up. He read. He practiced English. He planned his goals. After 1 month, just 1 month, he felt stronger, calmer, more focused. He didn't just wake up early. He woke up to his potential. That's the power of winning your morning. It's not about the time. It's about the message you send to yourself every day. I am in control of my life. Discipline starts when the world is silent, when you choose to act before the sun rises, when you choose to be uncomfortable for your dreams. Because success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who wake up and work when no one is watching. So, tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings and your mind whispers, sleep, remember this. Every time you choose to rise, you're not just waking up, you're becoming unstoppable. Fuel for English life. Building your mind, your habits, and your power. One sunrise at a time. Rule 2. Be ruthless with your time. Guard it like treasure. Time. The most valuable currency on earth. The one thing we can't buy, borrow, or earn back once it's gone. Every second that passes is a piece of your life that you'll never get again. And yet, most people throw it away like it's nothing. They waste hours scrolling through social media, watching other people live their dreams, while their own dreams quietly fade into the background. But here's the truth. that only a few understand. How you spend your time is how you build your destiny. Let me tell you something powerful. The richest people in the world don't just manage money, they manage time. Because money lost can be made again, but time lost is gone forever. If you want to change your life, if you want to master English, if you want to achieve the success you dream of, you must become ruthless with your time. That means saying no to distractions, saying no to people who waste your energy, saying no to the voice inside your head that says, "I'll do it later." Later kills dreams. Later builds regret. Later is the graveyard where goals go to die. Let's take a real story. There was a woman named Emily who dreamed of moving abroad and becoming fluent in English. But every evening after work, she'd scroll her phone for hours. Netflix, TikTok, chatting, until she'd fall asleep with her phone in her hand. She said, "I'm too tired to study." One day, she realized something. She wasn't tired. She was undisciplined. So she made a simple rule for herself. No phone before my goals. Every day, she gave herself just 1 hour to study, to read, to speak, to learn. At first, it was hard. Her mind screamed for distraction. Her hands reached for her phone like an addiction. But she resisted. She replaced those lost hours with learning hours. And in 6 months, her English transformed. Her confidence grew. Her mindset evolved. And most importantly, she respected herself more. Because that's what time management does. It builds self-respect. When you keep your promises to your goals, you send a message to your brain. I am the kind of person who does what I say. And that belief changes everything. You must learn to treat your time like gold. Protect it. Value it. Use it with intention. Here's something powerful to remember. Every hour you waste is an hour someone else is using to get ahead. Success doesn't require working 20 hours a day. It requires working the right hours with the right focus. Be honest with yourself. How much of your day do you control, and how much of it is stolen by distractions that give you nothing back? Discipline isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most and cutting everything else out. If you can master your time, you can master your mind. If you can master your mind, you can master your life. Remember, dear, the people you admire, the fluent speakers, the millionaires, the creators, they don't have more hours than you. They just use their hours differently. So today, make a decision. Stop wasting time on things that don't move you forward. Stop saying yes to everyone when it means saying no to yourself. Stop treating your dreams like a hobby. Your time is your life, and your life is the greatest project you'll ever build. Every moment is a choice, to rise or remain the same. Make your minutes matter, because one day you'll look back, and the only thing that will matter is how you spent the time you had. Fuel for English life, reminding you that your time is your power, and your focus is your freedom. Rule 3. Master the inner voice. Turn self-doubt into self-power. There's a voice inside every single one of us. A voice that whispers in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Sometimes it's gentle. Other times it's cruel. It says, "You're not good enough." It says, "You can't do this." It says, "You're too late, too old, too slow." This voice is what stops most people from ever reaching their true potential. It's not your boss. It's not your teacher. It's not your parents. It's you. That voice in your mind can either become your greatest enemy or your greatest ally. The truth is, no one escapes it. Every successful person you admire, the fluent English speakers, the confident leaders, the self-made millionaires, they've all faced that same voice. The difference is not that they didn't hear it. The difference is that they learned how to control it. They refused to let fear, insecurity, and doubt rule their minds. They trained that voice. They reprogrammed it. They turned it into a weapon of growth instead of destruction. Let me share a story. There was once a young man named Daniel. He lived in a small town and had a dream to become an international speaker, to inspire people across the world. But there was one problem. His English was terrible. Every time he tried to speak, he froze. His tongue got heavy, his heart raced, and that cruel voice whispered, "Everyone is laughing at you." He began to believe it. He avoided speaking in public, even though his heart was full of ideas. One day, Daniel came across a quote that changed his life. "The voice inside your head is not always telling the truth." It hit him hard. For years, he believed that inner voice was him, but in reality, it was just fear wearing his voice. So Daniel made a bold decision. He started recording himself speaking English every day. The first time, he couldn't even listen to his own voice. He hated it. The second time, he sounded nervous. But the third time, something changed. He stopped focusing on how bad he sounded and started focusing on how much he could improve. Day by day, he spoke a little more. He repeated positive words in his mind before every recording. "I can learn. I can grow. I will not give up." Slowly, his voice began to shift. The same inner critic that once said, "You can't," now started whispering, "Maybe you can." Then, "You are getting better." And eventually, "You are doing it." That is the power of mastering your inner voice, because your outer world will never change until your inner world does. You see, your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of fear, self-doubt, and excuses, you will grow weeds that choke your confidence. But if you plant seeds of belief, discipline, and positive self-talk, you will grow courage, strength, and unstoppable energy. When you say, "I can't," your brain shuts down. It stops looking for solutions. But when you say, "How can I?" your brain wakes up. It becomes creative. It starts working for you instead of against you. That is how champions think. That is how fluent English speakers train themselves. Not just through words, but through mindset. Your inner voice can become your personal coach, if you teach it how. Every time you feel nervous before speaking, remind yourself, "I am learning. I am growing. I am improving." Every time you make a mistake, say, "I'm getting stronger through this." Every time you feel behind, whisper, "My journey is different, but my time will come." And here's something beautiful, dear. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's the mastery of fear. It's standing face to face with that inner voice and saying, "I hear you, but I'm going forward anyway." Because courage doesn't mean you don't feel afraid. It means you keep moving, even when you are. When you learn to control the voice inside your head, you take back your power. You stop living by fear, and you start living by purpose. You stop being a victim of your thoughts and become the author of them. The world outside will always test you. People will doubt you. Challenges will appear, and sometimes you'll even fail. But if your inner world is strong, nothing can break you. So today, make this your mission. Reprogram your inner dialogue. Start your mornings with empowering words. Speak to yourself as if you were your own best friend, not your worst critic. And when the doubt comes, because it always will, don't run from it. Look it in the eye and say, "Thank you for reminding me how much I want this." Because when your inner voice becomes your ally, no challenge can defeat you. You'll speak better, learn faster, and move bolder. Not because the world got easier, but because you became stronger. Remember, your greatest enemy and your greatest power live in the same place, inside your mind. Train it, guide it, and use it to build your destiny. Fuel for English life, reminding you, before you master English, master the voice that speaks inside you. Because that's where true fluency begins. Not with words, but with belief. Rule 4. Build unshakable discipline. The foundation of every dream. Discipline. It's not a beautiful word at first glance. It doesn't sparkle like passion or motivation. It doesn't sound exciting like success or freedom. But the truth is, discipline is the invisible bridge that carries you from where you are to where you want to be. Without it, dreams remain dreams. With it, the impossible slowly becomes possible. Think about it. Everyone starts with motivation. You watch an inspiring video, listen to a speech, or read a story that sets your heart on fire. You feel ready to conquer the world. But then, a few days later, that fire fades. You wake up tired, you skip your practice, you say, "I'll do it tomorrow." And slowly, your dream begins to drift away. Motivation is like a spark. It burns bright, but disappears fast. Discipline, on the other hand, is like the sun. It rises every day, no matter how dark the night was. Let's take an example from life. Maybe you want to speak English fluently. You start strong. You learn new words. You practice pronunciation. You feel confident for a few days. But then one morning, you don't feel like it. You're tired, busy, or just bored. That's the moment discipline whispers, "Do it anyway." Because discipline is doing what must be done even when you don't feel like it. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. There's a powerful story of a man named David. He wanted to transform his life. He was working a small job, struggling to pay rent, and felt invisible. But one day, he read a line in a book that changed his life forever. Discipline is the difference between who you are and who you want to be. Those words hit him like lightning. He realized he wasn't failing because he was weak. He was failing because he had no structure. So he made a promise to himself. He would wake up every day at 5:30 a.m., study English for 1 hour, and write 1 page in his journal no matter what. The first week was hard. His body screamed for more sleep. His mind said, "Why bother?" But he refused to break his promise. Day by day, he started to notice something powerful. His confidence was growing. Not because of results yet, but because of control. He was training his willpower like a muscle. And after 3 months, his English improved more than it had in 3 years. Not because of talent, but because of discipline. Dear listener, the truth is this: discipline doesn't limit your freedom. It creates it. When you control your habits, you control your life. When you control your mornings, you control your days. When you control your emotions, you control your destiny. Most people lose their dreams not because they don't have potential, but because they let feelings decide their future. You can't wait until you feel like it. You have to act first and let the feeling come later. Imagine 2 people. One waits to feel motivated. The other acts even when they're tired. The first one will always stay stuck. The second one will always grow. Because growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from discipline. Every great artist, every successful entrepreneur, every fluent speaker you admire, they are all built from the same material: daily, consistent action. Let's go even deeper. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about love. Love for your future. Love for your potential. Love for the version of yourself that's waiting to be born. When you choose discipline, you're saying, "I believe in my future more than I believe in my excuses." That's the moment your life begins to change. And yes, it's hard. There will be days when you fail, days when you don't want to continue. But that's okay. Discipline isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up. If you fall 7 times, rise 8. Because every time you rise, you build something stronger inside. A character that no challenge can destroy. One of the most powerful examples is from the story of Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. Before his success, he was rejected more than 30 times. Even KFC didn't hire him. But Jack Ma said something that every dreamer should remember. If you don't give up, you still have a chance. Giving up is the greatest failure. That's the essence of discipline, not giving up. Doing a little more when the world expects you to stop. Pushing one more step when your legs are tired. Saying one more English sentence when your tongue feels heavy. Dear, if you ever feel like you're not moving fast enough, remember this: slow progress is still progress. Every drop of effort adds up, and one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Discipline is not about speed, it's about direction. As long as you're moving forward, you're winning. So build a daily routine that supports your dream. Read a little every day, speak a little every day, Improve a little every day, because small, consistent steps build massive results over time. Remember, discipline is the secret that turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. And as always, Fuel for English Life reminds you, greatness doesn't start with big leaps. It starts with small promises, kept daily. Promise yourself today and keep that promise tomorrow. Because when you master discipline, you master destiny. Rule 5. Surround yourself with growth. Choose your circle wisely. Let me tell you a truth that many people learn too late in life. The people around you are either your wings or your chains. They either lift you higher or hold you down. And the sooner you understand this, the faster your life begins to change. We like to believe that success is all about talent, or luck, or intelligence. But look closely at anyone who has achieved greatness. A millionaire, a fluent English speaker, a confident leader. And you'll always find one thing in common: their circle. The people they spend their time with, talk to, and learn from are the ones who shape them. Because your environment is not neutral. It's powerful. It builds you or breaks you. Imagine two seeds planted in different places. One grows in fertile soil, full of light, water, and care. The other grows among rocks, in dry, dark ground. Both seeds have the same potential, but only one will grow strong. Why? Because of the environment. Now think about yourself. You are that seed. The people around you are your soil. If you spend time with people who always complain, you'll start complaining. If you spend time with people who make excuses, you'll start believing that excuses are normal. But if you spend time with people who dream, who build, who work, you'll start rising with them. There's a powerful saying: you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that for a second. Who are your 5 people? Are they lifting you up or dragging you down? Are they feeding your growth or feeding your doubts? I remember reading a story of a young man named Liam. He wanted to change his life, to become fluent in English and move abroad for better opportunities. But his friends laughed at him. They said, "Why try so hard? You'll never make it." Every time he tried to study, they distracted him. Every time he shared his dream, they made fun of it. He felt stuck. Until one day, he realized something powerful. He couldn't grow in an environment that refused to grow with him. So, he made one of the hardest choices of his life. He distanced himself from the people he loved. Not because he hated them, but because he loved his future more. He joined an online English group, started following motivational speakers, and spent his evenings talking to people who inspired him. Within a year, everything changed. His English improved, his confidence grew, and his mindset transformed. Liam didn't become better because the world got easier. He became better because he changed his environment. Dear listener, that's what Rule 5 is about. Building a circle of growth. Surround yourself with people who talk about ideas, not gossip. People who challenge you, not criticize you. People who believe in possibilities, not limitations. When you sit with dreamers, your dreams expand. When you sit with doers, your actions increase. And when you sit with winners, your mindset transforms. But here's something even deeper. Growth isn't just about who you're with, but also about what you consume. Your environment isn't only physical, it's digital too. What you read, what you watch, what you listen to, they all shape your thinking. If you spend hours scrolling through negativity, you're feeding your fears. But if you fill your mind with knowledge, success stories, and inspiration, you're feeding your greatness. Make your environment your silent teacher. Read books that challenge you. Watch videos that teach you. Follow people who are already living the life you dream of. Because energy is contagious. And the energy you surround yourself with is the energy you become. Let's go deeper, dear. Sometimes you will have to walk alone for a while. Not because you want to, but because your path demands it. Growth can be lonely. Not everyone will understand your discipline, your goals, or your hunger for more. People will say you've changed, and that's okay. You're supposed to. Growth means change, and change often means walking away from comfort. There's a line I want you to remember forever. If you want to fly, you have to let go of the people who weigh you down. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start protecting your energy. You stop giving your time to people who waste it. You stop explaining your dreams to people who mock them. You stop waiting for others to believe in you because you believe in yourself. Every successful person, every fluent speaker, every confident dreamer, they all went through this stage. They chose growth over gossip, progress over comfort, and focus over distraction. Think about your circle like a mirror. It reflects your future. If you want to be disciplined, surround yourself with disciplined people. If you want to be fluent in English, surround yourself with people who practice it daily. If you want to be successful, surround yourself with people who talk about goals, learning, and growth. And if you don't have those people yet, create them. Build your circle online. Join groups, communities, or channels like this one. Read books written by great minds. Watch videos that lift you up instead of pulling you down. Because in this digital world, you don't need to wait for your environment. You can create it. Remember, you don't need a crowd. You just need a circle. One real mentor. One true friend who believes in your dream. One teacher who pushes you forward. That's enough to change your entire life. So, dear listener, as you move forward on your journey, ask yourself, who am I listening to? Who am I learning from? Who am I becoming because of them? Because your environment is your destiny. If you walk with eagles, you will learn to fly. If you walk with pigeons, you'll stay on the ground. Choose wisely. Protect your energy. Build your circle of greatness. And remember, you deserve to be around people who make you feel like your future is possible. And that's your Rule 5, my dear dreamers. Surround yourself with growth, because no dream grows in darkness. It needs the light of the right people. If today's message touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Fuel for English Life, where we don't just learn English, we learn life. Your journey to greatness is only beginning. And trust me, you're not alone. Stay inspired, stay focused, and remember, your circle shapes your story. Choose wisely, and your life will never be the same. Rule 6. Master the power of consistency. Small steps. Every day, build empires. Let me tell you something, my friend. The difference between the people who dream and the people who achieve is not intelligence, not luck, not even opportunity. It's consistency. Everyone starts strong. Everyone is excited on day one. Everyone says, "This time I'll change my life." But few people stay when it gets hard. Few people show up on the days when motivation dies. Few people keep walking when no one is clapping for them. And that's why consistency is the most underrated superpower in the world. Consistency is not about doing everything at once. It's about doing something every single day, even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up when your mood says no, but your purpose says yes. It's about planting a seed every morning, knowing that someday that seed will become your forest. Think about it. Success, fluency, wealth. They are not one-time events. They are habits stacked over time. You don't become fluent in English by studying for 10 hours once. You become fluent by practicing 30 minutes every day, for months. You don't build a strong body by going to the gym once a month. You build it by showing up again and again, even when you're tired. You don't become rich by saving once. You do it by managing your money every single day with discipline. That's the truth. Consistency is boring, but it's magic. Most people quit because they don't see results fast enough. They want progress, but they want it now. And when it doesn't come, they give up. But hear me, nothing in nature grows overnight. The seed doesn't become a tree in one day. The river doesn't carve the mountain in a week. Everything strong takes time. You must learn to fall in love with the process, not the outcome. When you practice English every morning, even if your grammar isn't perfect, you're growing. When you wake up early to read, even when no one notices, you're becoming better. When you choose discipline over comfort, you're changing your destiny. The world will never see your small steps. They won't notice the quiet mornings you study alone, the nights you stay awake learning, the days you repeat the same word over and over. But one day, when you speak fluently, when you succeed, when you shine, the world will call you lucky, but you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck, it was consistency. Let's take an example. Imagine a man named Daniel. He wanted to speak English fluently so he could get a better job. He tried many times before, but always gave up after a few weeks. One day, he decided to change one thing, his consistency. He promised himself to practice English every single day, even just 15 minutes. No excuses. No, I'm busy. No, I'm tired. Just 15 minutes. At first, it felt small. He made mistakes. He felt slow, but he stayed consistent. Weeks passed, then months. His pronunciation improved. His confidence grew. 1 year later, Daniel wasn't just speaking English, he was thinking in English. And all he did was stay consistent. Now think about your own goals, whatever you want, to master English, to build a business, to change your life. It all depends on one question. Can you stay consistent when no one is watching? Because motivation is temporary, it's like fire from a match. It burns bright, but dies fast. Consistency is like the sun. It rises every day without fail. Let me tell you something powerful, dear. Discipline beats motivation. Action beats emotion. Consistency beats perfection. You don't need to be the best. You just need to be consistent. Because if you keep going, you'll eventually pass everyone who stopped. Even the smallest action, done every day, compounds like interest. You read 1 page a day. In a year, you've read 365 pages. You learn 1 English word a day. In a year, you know 365 new words. That's the power of small, consistent effort. So, here's your challenge. Start today. No matter how small your step is, take it. If you want to improve your English, read 1 paragraph, write 1 sentence, watch 1 English video. If you want to improve your life, do 1 thing that pushes you forward. Because 1 small step, repeated daily, becomes unstoppable momentum. Don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be persistent. The mountain is climbed not in leaps, but in steady steps. The river cuts through stone, not by force, but by persistence. And success, it's built the same way, with small actions, repeated consistently, over time. Consistency is your quiet weapon. It doesn't shout, but it never stops. It doesn't rush, but it never quits. Let me give you a powerful truth. Consistency is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. You can have the biggest dream in the world, but if you don't cross that bridge every day, your dream will remain a dream. So, from this day on, promise yourself that you'll be consistent, no matter how small the action, no matter how long it takes. Because every time you show up, you're proving to yourself that your dream matters. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, you're becoming stronger. And every time you choose action over excuses, you're building a new version of you, the one who doesn't quit. Remember, the most successful people in the world are not the ones who did everything fast. They are the ones who never stopped. So stay patient, stay consistent, and stay faithful. Because your efforts are adding up in silence, and soon the world will hear your roar. Rule 7. Believe before you see. The mindset that changes. Listen carefully, my friend. This final rule isn't just about English, success, or money. It's about the most powerful force inside you, belief. Before anyone else believes in you, before the world notices your effort, before success knocks at your door, you must believe in yourself first. Because every dream, every story of greatness, every masterpiece begins with one invisible seed. Faith. When you look around, you'll see people with similar talents, similar skills, similar opportunities. So why do only a few rise to the top? Because they believed when no one else did. Belief is not just positive thinking, it's a decision. It's standing in front of your dream and saying, I don't know how yet, but I will. It's speaking life into your goals before they exist. It's seeing light in the middle of your darkest night. It's choosing progress when fear whispers, you're not enough. Think about every great person you admire. Einstein was told he would never amount to anything. J.K. Rowling's book was rejected 12 times. Jack Ma failed 30 job interviews. But they all had one thing in common: unshakable belief. They saw something no one else could see, not outside, but inside. They saw their potential. They saw their future. They saw themselves becoming. And you, my friend, must do the same. You want to speak English fluently? Believe that you can even when your tongue struggles, even when your accent feels strange. You want to change your life? Believe that you are capable, even when your past whispers, you failed before. You want to become successful? Believe that success is already chasing you. It's just waiting for you to stay consistent and never give up. Belief is your armor when life gets tough, because life will test you. There will be days when you'll feel like giving up. Days when you'll doubt yourself. Days when everything you've built feels small, invisible, or useless. But those are the moments that define you. When your belief stays strong, you become unbreakable. Belief turns ordinary people into legends. It turns broken beginnings into beautiful endings. It turns every I can't into I will. Let me share a real story with you. There was once a young man who grew up in poverty. He could barely afford food, let alone education. But he had one dream: to learn English and change his future. Every night, after long hours of work, he would sit under a streetlight with a borrowed book. His English was terrible. People laughed at him, but he kept studying. He believed. Years later, that same young man became a translator, then a teacher, then a business owner. One day when he was asked how he made it, he smiled and said, I just never stopped believing that I could. That's what belief does. It transforms your reality one thought, one action, one day at a time. You see, your mind is like soil. Whatever you plant inside, it grows. If you plant doubt, you'll harvest fear. If you plant excuses, you'll harvest regret. But if you plant belief, you'll harvest miracles. And when you start believing in yourself, something magical happens. The universe begins to believe in you too. Doors open, people appear, opportunities find you. But it all begins with one simple step. Decide to believe. Believe that your English will improve. Believe that your goals are achievable. Believe that your time is coming. And when you start thinking this way, your actions will follow. Your energy will change. Your focus will sharpen. And slowly, your belief will become your reality. So here's the truth: the world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you believe you deserve. If you believe you are worthy, you'll act like it. If you believe you are capable, you'll fight for it. If you believe you are meant for greatness, you'll start walking toward it no matter how far it seems. Never forget, belief isn't something you wait to feel. It's something you build. You build it every time you choose to keep going. You build it every time you learn instead of quit. You build it every time you remind yourself, I am becoming better every single day. So today, say it with me. I believe in myself. I believe in my journey. I believe I will make it. Because belief is not about where you are. It's about where you're going. And when you walk with belief, the road rises to meet you. And that, my dear dreamers, is Rule 7, believe before you see. Because success doesn't start with a goal. It starts with belief. If today's story spoke to your heart, if it reminded you that you still have a fire inside, then don't forget to subscribe to Fuel for English Life. Here, we don't just learn English. We build discipline, belief, and power, the tools that shape extraordinary lives. Remember, you don't need to see the whole staircase, just take the first step with belief. Because one day you'll look back and realize that belief was the bridge that carried you from who you were to who you were meant to become. This is Fuel for English Life. Believe, speak, rise.